Hello and welcome to the Dream. Today with me is King Nidhogg, a challenger player from the North American solo queue ladder. How you doing, Nidhogg?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right. Well, I wanted to ask you first, do you still have aspirations to become a pro player? Because I know you're streaming often. Or do you want to become a streamer full time?
Probably don't want to be a pro player anymore. I guess I've just lost a lot of that drive that it kind of takes to put in the hours every day, and that's kind of what you need, I guess, to perform at that level. It's just hours on other champions as well,
Yeah.
and I just can't do that.
Right.
It's not fun. It's not fun playing. Like as soon as you start aspiring to be like a pro player, it becomes less of like a game and more
Right.
like a job.
Right.
I guess the same could be said for streaming,
Mhm.
but you can do streaming in such a way that the priority is on like fun,
Right.
right, and just engaging with the audience if that's what it is, or maybe just sitting there and playing games,
Mhm.
just knowing that you're being watched. And I guess in my case it sounds a little bit odd, but it's kind of fun knowing like whenever I'll make a play, like I personally might not, let's say, enjoy it that much. Maybe it's like, oh, it's a basic thing to do,
Right.
but seeing other people's reactions, like, whoa, it's cool. Like that's fun for me. Like vicariously through them, I experience the thing. So it's more streaming than pro right now.
Right.
But maybe I'll get that back. Maybe I'll get that feeling back.
So what do you think was what drove you away from pro play? Was it just that you had to focus seriously on it and it stopped being fun for you?
I guess a myriad of things.
Mhm.
Maybe the one thing that comes to mind that's probably at the forefront would be the fact that the scene for me just feels so pretentious. Um, I think the players have so much ego nowadays. They're like really young people, like around my age, that are coming up, and it just gets tiring to deal with because you'll see these prospects in solo queue, right? You'll see these
Right.
people going into challenger teams and into academy teams or something, and they're just. Am I allowed to swear, by the way?
If you can avoid it,
All
but
right, okay. They're just mean people, mean spirited, you know, um, and they're not fun. And I know that if I were to play at a professional level, I'd probably have to play with them,
right.
maybe against them, sure. And yeah, I can have that competitiveness with
Mhm.
me, but it's just the fact that I'll have to be around them at all drives
Right.
me away, and the fact that yeah, it's not fun. Nor am I at that level, like good enough. I'd say, like,
Right.
not to underestimate myself, but
Mhm.
definitely, I just see some of these players and they're consistently at like the high challenger level. I'm like, I
Right.
can't do that. I just can't do that.
Right. Right. And a lot of people do say that it's a concern of the time effort that you end up having to put in with playing, where you kind of get it kind of gets drained out of you, where you're always playing for like 12 hours a day and you're focusing solely on improvement, and that can take a lot out of the players.
Right.
So do you not find that in streaming? Not the other people aspect, but do you not find the drain of it just because you're enjoying the people that are there, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's like when you're doing something you like. It's not. It doesn't feel like work. It
Right.
doesn't feel like it's draining you. It's more like you're
Mhm.
expending energy for it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're giving rather than it taking away from you.
Right. Now, so you mentioned a lot of toxic attitudes from other up and coming players. Is that something that you think just really needs to fix now? Like, is it just you really can't deal with the egos, and you think that's what's gonna cause a lot of problems in the future
Yeah,
for challenge players? Yeah.
it's like especially my own. I just like we'll clash
Right.
inevitably,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say at this point I have the tact, like in a serious situation, to be mature about it and talk it through
Mm-hmm.
without all that clashing and whatnot.
Right.
But sometimes it like like obviously there'll be times where I'll probably sit there and be like, dude, I really just want to yell at this guy, right?
Right.
And mitigating that on both ends is ideal. And for me, I've done as much as I could,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for or still am, let's say, in terms of becoming like a more mature person in those situations. But I just can't expect the same kind of return from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it is a pressing issue if I choose to make it. Like
Right.
if I choose to engage in that. But the easiest thing for me has just been to get away from that, just ignore these people as
Mhm.
best as I can.
Right.
Mute them in solo queue or something, right? Mute their pings too, because nothing
Yeah.
good's gonna come out of them, right? So
Right. Mhm. Right. Did you have any other concerns when you were focusing on becoming a pro player, or do you have concerns now while you're focusing on becoming a streamer?
I guess I'll talk about the pro player thing first.
Mhm.
When I was 15 or so, I joined the team, and I remember I got benched because I was 15.
Mhm.
The rules like they didn't let 15-year-olds play, and
Gotcha.
then I think they changed it. I talked to the guy actually a few years on, which is like now.
Right.
I remember talking to the guy. I'm like, "What the hell happened? Sorry, what happened?" Right?
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, they eventually changed it to 16. You could play at 16, but I would like it was already too late at that point. I kind of
Mhm.
just like, I dropped down,
Right.
stopped caring as much. Just barely made challenger, and like I just sat there, got really casual with it. But I guess the struggle was to always maintain that kind of 8 hour a day, really try hard sort of thing. Because at some point in my life, I was able to sit there, look at the league community, or at least the community of people that I was playing in, the high elo community,
Mhm.
and just witness all the kind of stuff that was going on, right? The people themselves,
Right.
right? And some of the dirty things like the boosting, right?
Mhm.
And I just didn't like the atmosphere, let's call it.
Mhm.
Just the atmosphere of, when you're so good at a game
Right.
that you get to just say like, "Man, I'm a challenger," right? You just
Mhm.
drop that, and then you can observe the effect it has on all the people within the community, right? And like the superficiality of it all.
Mhm.
I don't know, everything about that when I, around 16 or so, it's like my eyes just open. I'm like,
Mhm.
damn, I hate all this, right?
Right.
but I just, it's such a massive part of my life that I continue to play,
Mhm.
right? Almost out of necessity, let's call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just I don't like these people. But I'm one of them, right? So it's
Right.
like it's ironic, or
Yeah.
hypocritical, let's say.
Right.
But I still have those views
Mhm.
regardless. It's just hard to talk about those things to people,
Mhm.
because the first thing they will do is sit there and say, "But you," right? Like they'll attack me personally rather than
Right.
listen to what I have to say, right? They make excuses for themselves, right? Like the high low players, oh my goodness, they're just gonna like they'll circulate it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the hate,
Right.
rather than try to look inwards and say, "Hey, maybe I am kind of a jerk or something like that."
Right.
Right? So
Mhm. Do you have any concerns when you're streaming too? Like, is there anything looming in the back that you're looking at while you're focusing on streaming?
in terms of like the future,
Yeah, in
or
terms of the future.
well, I guess I have to be real about it and say at like my kind of level, I'm not exactly capable of making like a livelihood
Mhm.
and living off of it.
Right.
So I got to treat it as like a hobby, because if I don't go super hard into it,
Mhm.
um, I can't like lie to myself and be like, oh yeah, I'll have fun and I'll make money off of it, because it just happens to be the case that on Twitch or making content in general, like being a personality on the internet, whether it's like Twitter, YouTube, or whatever, you have to sell out
Right.
somewhat, right? You have to do what everyone else is doing,
Mhm.
right? And that's just not for me. So when I'm streaming, kind of what's looming in the back there is, hey man, really try for it, but at the same time, be yourself. Unfortunately, being yourself doesn't always kind of coincide with success
Right.
on these platforms, because it's just hard to maintain that high energy, super, let's say, driven, always entertaining attitude that people look for.
Right.
But I mean, I try to maintain it somewhat when I'm really feeling it.
Right.
It's kind of like a up and down
Mhm.
fluctuation thing for me.
Yeah.
But there's that little bit of effort
Yeah.
still there, a
That
little
little bit
bit
of
of
effort.
effort. that goes into it. You know, I'll be playing Fortnite or something or League, and in the middle of the game, I'll just feel super into it, and we'll just be talking and commentating. And other times, I'm just sitting there, just like this, just you
Yeah.
know, just playing the game.
Right. Do you have any last words or suggestions for players that might be looking to go pro, or maybe any future streamers that you can share your experiences with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, probably the biggest tip I can give is have a balance of whatever it is you're doing, right?
Mhm.
If you're dipping 8+ hours into something, understand that you're probably taking away from other aspects of your life, right?
Right.
Like physical, wellness, and that's important for me. As of right now, I'm doing that. Maybe you're not sleeping as much. Don't try to grab from every little part of your life to sink it into that, because yeah, you'll probably get a big return. Maybe you'll make more money on a video or something. You put more effort into it, or maybe one day you'll get more subs on Twitch, or you break that 20 viewer obstacle. Sure, you're gonna get that, but take it slow and steady, I'd say,
Mhm.
because oftentimes when you succeed in something, maybe you get hosted, right, and you
Right.
felt like a massive high one day,
Mhm.
and you'll think the next day, maybe if I do the same thing, it'll happen again, right, and you'll get that explosive increase. But what I've seen is this burning out sort of effect, right? People get burnt out really easily because they don't moderate themselves. They don't, keep it
Right.
on a steady level, and they'll just gone, right? Within a month or something, they're like, I need a break. Oh my god, they've ruined it for themselves
Right.
almost. So maybe just resist the urge to seize every day. Maybe
Gotcha.
just seize it in a different way, just a low.
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe it, but I think you get my point.
In smaller portions, yeah. Right.
Yes, small portions.
Well, thank you for coming on, Nidhogg. It was great getting to talk with you.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
No
All right, have
problem.
a good day, I guess.
Yep. All right. Well, I hope to see all the viewers next time on the Dream.